So just quickly before we begin, one, I got a TCG player affiliate link, so make sure to use that. It will be in the description. And two, check out my most recent video. It's a collection update, and it will be in the description as well. So see you guys. Yo, what's going on, guys? Homer Melon back again, and today I'm going to be talking a bit about modern Yu-Gi-Oh collecting, as always. So I'm going to show off some recent pickups, and then I'm going to get into a modern collection binder that I have and that I've been working on, and so I'll slot a lot of these into that binder. Or maybe I won't, because I actually haven't switched the sleeves. These are just the sleeves that they came in, so I won't slot them in because I haven't switched the sleeves, but I'll show off some of the binder and explain where I'm going to put these cards. Not so recently, there was Rarity Collection 2 announced. Rarity Collection 1 was one of the most successful Yu-Gi-Oh sets in recent memory. It had a ton of cards, and all the cards were available in a large number of rarities, and many of the rarities were very well received. So, for example, we have the Quarter Century Secret Rare. I know many of you guys have already seen this, but the interesting thing about the Quarter Century Secret is that it looks nearly identical to the Starlight Rare. The main differences are the gold letter name and the watermark saying quarter or 25th anniversary. So why is it so contentious that they're printing cards in this, Quarter Century Secret Rare? Well, it's because a lot of the cards are nearly identical to previous Starlight Rare printings. And in Rarity Collection 1, they really disregarded any previous printings, and they just printed everything in all of the rarities that were available in Rarity Collection 1. And what that meant is that for a lot of cards, the essentially value went down considerably. Now, this is a card that was not in Rarity Collection, but it was in the Megatins, and this one had a Starlight Rare out of Lightning Overdrive. It's a beautiful, beautiful card, and the Starlight Rare is a beautiful, beautiful card, but I think it leaves a pretty bad taste in a lot of collectors' mouths when they print a nearly identical card for a card that was supposed to be an extremely, extremely hard to get chase. And so people are spending, hundreds of dollars helping sell the set, and it just ends with essentially them reprinting the card, making it available for someone like me for, $3 to $4. And so I'm happy to pick this up for sure. It's a beautiful, beautiful card. But for collectors who went after the original, I think it really makes them wary to put money back into modern collecting. And for me, you can look at my videos, I'm not an investor. I'm someone who, puts cards into binders. I do sell cards, but that's usually when I realize I don't want them anymore, just so I can put more cards into money, or put more of that money back into cards. And so, I'm not someone who's picking these up and holding them expecting it to outperform the S&P 500. It's just, I don't think that's a realistic outcome. And I think people who, think that are, making a poor decision or a bit confused about how these things are going to perform. They're not taking into account selling fees, the way things are taxed in the US at least, etc. So the point being that I'm not an investor by any stretch of the imagination, but it always leaves a bad taste if you buy something and you believe it to have a certain amount of value, so you pay, whatever the market price is, and then Konami says, okay, or whomever, we're just going to make a nearly identical copy of that thing for, 1/10, sometimes 1/100th the price. It's a bit frustrating, and I get it, even though I wasn't someone who bought into these collector rares, but it's something where if we move on to these cards right here, Solemn Strike, these are now announced and confirmed to be in Rarity Collection 2. I bought this before Rarity Collection 2 was announced. As soon as Rarity Collection 2 was announced, I knew these were going to be in it because, they need more cards that are playable, and so they're going to go after the Solemn cards. And then eventually they ended up announcing that they were, in fact, putting the Solemn cards in Rarity Collection 2. And so these will get a Prismatic Collector Rare. The Prismatic Collector Rare is not identical to the Collector Rare, but it's pretty similar. Now, I really, really love the foiling on this card, and I'm not upset that I made the purchase. It's just, for me, watching myself pick up a playset of this for what I thought was a very good deal, I'm going to be a bit more hesitant to put my money into cards like this, knowing that Rarity Collection is right around the corner. And if they continue doing Rarity Collection, it's going to make me not want to put money into cards, I'm basically going to have to wait until Rarity Collection 2 comes out. Then I'll pick up the cards um, that were already confirmed to be in Rarity Collection 2, because I'll know that they go down. And I don't know if that's healthy for the Yu-Gi-Oh card market. And I'm a huge fan of reprints. I recognize that reprints are what make the game continue to go on. It's not collectors like me who don't play the game who are continuing Yu-Gi-Oh and making it an interesting game to play, and making Konami a lot of money. I'm a minority in this. I'm not the important person. However, you know, I recognize reprints are very, very necessary for the game. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense to print a nearly identical copy of the card. A player doesn't care whether it's a Prismatic Ultimate Rare, which is a cool chase that could have been the chase rarity for Rarity Collection, or a Platinum Secret Rare, or a Secret Rare, or an Ultra Rare, or a Super Rare. They didn't need to reprint every single card in a nearly identical rarity to a previous printing of the card. So it's a bit frustrating to see stuff like that, because why are you going to continue buying? I'm just going to wait until stuff gets the reprint before I ever pick it up, which for me takes a little bit of the fun and excitement out of the new stuff. And also, it's unfortunate for people who play the game. Why is that? Because if you pick up high rarity stuff or expensive cards, oftentimes it's people like me who don't play the game who are picking them back up off of you when you're trying to sell off your deck. So, not always, but it is the case that I usually am buying from players. And so they say, okay, either I won these packs and I pulled this card, and so I'm the person buying it because it's a collectible card, or if it's a playable card in high rarity that I want, once the deck is no longer meta, I buy it, and then the player has money in their pocket to spend on the newest deck that's, expensive and hard to get. And, Konami is saying, okay, we want to essentially get all of the money that was going and being exchanged between people selling off their decks. We're just going to, try to dip our hands into that as well. And for me, I'm not a huge fan of that. I think that it's a little difficult when you see stuff like that, because, you think about the health and how people are going to want to collect long term if that's how Konami approaches modern collecting. And so for me, it's a bit disappointing. I am excited to see what's in Rarity Collection 2, not for the cards that have already been printed in that rarity, but for all the other stuff that didn't have these high rarity printings. I think it's going to be really cool. This is a really nice example of something that I think is done right in Rarity Collection 1. They have alternate arts of the card in these high rarities. That's awesome, okay? I am perfectly fine. Say you want to do the Alt Art Black Rose in the new rarity. That would be cool. I'm perfectly happy with something like that. And this, harkens back to something I forgot to mention, but, people say the OCG is the better version of the card game. For those not familiar, the OCG is the Japanese, the Asian version of the card game. TCG is the Western version. People always want to say, the OCG is so much better, so much better. I'm an OCG collector, I understand why. However, it's not better in every aspect. And I'm friends with a Japanese collector, native Japanese guy. He's the guy who middlemans all the Japanese stuff that I get. And he always complains about how, in the TCG we have it so nice as collectors, because in the OCG they just print the same card in the exact same rarity a billion times. So basically Konami completely controls the collector's market, because if it's not designated as a collector's card, Konami just reprints it into the ground. And so there's no organic, like, okay, that's a cool card, we want to collect it. It's like it has to be released in a very limited quantity, and designated by Konami as a collector card. And so I think that's a bit unfortunate, and he always complains about that. And something us TCG collectors have been generally, Konami has printed stuff in the past and reprinted it in the same rarity, but, not as egregiously as recently done. So here's Crusadia, Mekk-Knight Crusadia Abramax Collector Rare. This is a bit sad because you think about Maze of Memories. This is a set that didn't do very well at all coming out of the gate, and cards like this are supposed to be the chase, and so they just reprint them in Rarity Collection. It starts to become a question of, how are you going to sell these side sets that have not been performing particularly well? I understand the newest collector rare set with Bonfire and all that stuff is going crazy, but for the most part, these are not performing well, and you're taking away essentially the value of the chase cards in that set. And so I'm not sure where Konami's going to go with that, because, you know, here's a card like this. I picked it up because the rarity in the collection, or excuse me, the rarity in the price of the card had essentially, you know, plummeted after Rarity collection. So, you know, it does provide opportunities like that, but, you know, it is what it is. And then the last two cards that I wanted to show off as pickups are the Evil Twins. These are cards that I've been wanting to pick up for a while out of Genesis Impact, but they're always somewhat playable, and I don't try to buy stuff when it's somewhat playable, because one, I'm competing with collectors and making it harder for with players and making it harder for them to get the cards they want to play, but also it just means that prices are up, and, you know, there's some unfortunate stuff to that. The foiling on this is absolutely incredible. I really, really like this one. Very, very fun. But the important part of this is when you look at a card like this, it's really cool. I think it's collectible. It's a lot of fun. However, I'm going to be very wary to pick cards like this up in the future because I don't know if this is going to be in Rarity Collection 2. You know, and so, you know, maybe it's an alt art, maybe it's the identical copy. It's just hard to say, and it makes collectors essentially unwilling to spend their money until they're certain that it's not going to be printed in the newest set. And so, you know, I picked these up before Rarity Collection 2 was announced. I don't regret it because these are awesome, awesome cards, original printings, very, very cool texture on them. However, you know, it's never fun to see, you know, yourself pick something up, and then it'll be, you know, if these get collector rares in Rarity Collection 2, these cards will lose probably, you know, they'll go to 1/4 their value, and then I would be able to pick up the Prismatic Collector Rare for, you know, probably 1/10 the price. And so it's a little disappointing when you see stuff like that. All right, so that is all of my recent pickups. Now let's get into the binder. I'm going to have to zoom this out a little bit. Hopefully we can see the binder well. I haven't looked at the lighting at all, so we'll figure this out as we go. Top deck binder. This is actually something new that I picked up. I did have my white top deck binder. I like it a lot. I've said it before, this and the Dragon Shield binders are my favorite. So this is my modern collection, like very modern cards. Actually, I'm going to change the lighting a bit so you guys can see these a bit better. Let me turn it up. Okay, that's how as it goes, but I'll try to make it so that it's visible. So you can see these are collector rares. None of the top ones, cards like this, are not going to get reprints. So we've got Queen's Knight, King's Knight, Jack's Knight. Then we've got the, you know, Arcana Triumph Joker, Joker's Knight, and Imperial Bower. The reality is cards like this, you know, they're not playable, so they're not going to print it in something like Rarity Collection 2. Then Dark Honest. Funnily enough, these cards out of, what is it? Valiant Master, something like that. I forget what it's called. I've been wanting to get the Honest collector rare to put it right here, and then another Dark Honest to put it right there, but people are buying them out, and it's a bit frustrating to see. This is a card that could be in Rarity Collection 2, and so I'm waiting to see what happens with Rescue Rabbit. If it's not in Rarity Collection 2, the price has been going down a ton on these collector rares, and so I'm interested to see, and I'll probably pick up more if... pick up another one if it's not in Rarity Collection 2. Or if it is, excuse me. Can't think. It's actually like 6 a.m. and I've been up since like 3. But anyways, we've got Chaos Creator. This is a fun one out of Toon Chaos. The price on this has gone down pretty considerably. Toon Chaos First Edition. One of my favorite sets. It was very popular when I started getting back into the game. It was the first set where I was like really looking forward to it. I was back into collecting, and, you know, it hadn't come out yet, so it was something I could look forward to. Chaos Daedalus. A lot of fun there. All right, so I have some empty spaces that I'm going to be putting more monster or Effect Monster collector rares and vanilla collector rares. Then up top, we've got some XCs. We've got Grand Chariot and Polari. I'm always impressed with this Ancient Guardians foiling. The texture is always a lot of fun on these. So we've got some cool stuff there. So I'll try to put all my synchros in here. Let me think about what I have, at least for collector rare wise. So basically the traps will go elsewhere, but these links will go on this page right here. So this is a page of links. We've got 3 Alistairs, I don't know how to say it. And then we've got Firewall Dragon, Dragon Fluid, which is a really cool collector rare as well. So we'll put those on that page. And here we've got some other collector rares. We've got Snake Rain, Change of Heart. This is a prismatic collector rare out of Rarity Collection 1. So cards like this are still pretty cool. I know in my previous video I said the collector rare foiling was really bad and for the prismatic collector rare. I don't think it's too bad after looking more at it. I still like the original collector rare a bit more, but the prismatic collector rare is still pretty cool. Torrential Tribute. This is one that I would not be surprised if it's in Rarity Collection 2. But my 3 Solemn Strikes will probably go on that page right there. Very, very fun. Then we move to actual Starlight rares. Up top, we've got 2 Yadas. I'm thinking about buying another, but it hasn't gone down much recently, so I'm just looking for a really good deal on it. We've got Astral Leviathan Dragon, I believe the cheapest Starlight rare of all time, and then Firewall Dragon Singularity. I really like how that thing looks, but realistically, Starlight rares have gone down a ton. Then we've got Book of Lunar Eclipse, excuse me. There are more books coming out in Rarity Collection 2, so I might pick up some of those books. There's, I think, Book of Moon and Book of Eclipse. And then this one is probably my favorite Starlight rare of all time. I just think it looks incredible, and it's super, super cheap. I was checking, there are tons of listings for this card on TCG Player, and it's going down in price, and so I'm probably going to pick up more, because it's awesome. I know it's not playable, I know it's just kind of a random card, but it's a lot of fun for me. Up top, we've got Magicians of Bonds and Unity. Unfortunately, these are getting bought out. I hadn't bought the red yet, and it's already like $90 now. At least last time I checked. It was like $50, and so I don't know who's buying it out, but please stop. I want to finish the set. Then we've got Rainbow Dragon and Cyber Dragon and Neos right there. This is where my, I think this is where I'm going to put my Black Rose Dragon. Or maybe no. Let me continue on. So, okay, yeah, maybe that is where I was planning to put my Black Rose. I hadn't really thought through it much. Here we've got some Quarter Century Secret Rares, Chaos Space, and Change of Heart. Very cool. Then I don't know. Oh, no, I do have more. We've got some Ghost Rares, Cyber Dragon right there. Blue Eyes Ultimate and Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. This is kind of a random one, but man, these Zaxel Ghost Rares are so, so cool. Very, very happy with these, and I don't know. I don't think they get enough love. Super cheap, for sure. Then we've got some Modern Ultimate Rares. These are awesome. Love to pick up more of these. I'm probably going to pick up another Firewall Dragon. The foiling on these looks crazy, and this got a Quarter Century Secret Rare, so these Ultimate Rares are like less than $10, I'm pretty sure. At least at some point they were. I don't remember where they're at right now. So, and then finally we have some Secret Rares right here. Some World Superstars and the Tin manga artwork. So those are all very cool. So I think that's it, but hopefully you guys did enjoy. This is a ranty video at early in the morning on a Sunday, so kind of random, but if you guys did enjoy, make sure to drop a like. It's been your boy Watomormelon, and peace out.